Luke Gilbert just about to get us underway with our second semi-final. Time to find out who will play Callum Singleton in tonight's Pro Series 2 final. Will it be Luke Gilbert or will it be Chris Melling? Luke, one of the rising stars in the game. Chris, one of the legends of the game. It should be a cracker. It really is a generational battle. And to like to say, somebody who knows everything about Luke's game, Tom Cooney joins me on commentary for this one, and this is a very special day in Luke's career so far, isn't it?
Evening, Simon. Yeah, it's a big moment for Luke, really. He's played some good stuff under the Ultimate Pool umbrella, but it's his first, in terms of the Pro Series, it's his first sort of statement, if you like, and always a great occasion playing someone like Chris in the big matches. He's been playing well and he'll be up for this.
He's been absolutely flying through the competition. Going at a fast pace as well.
Yeah, he don't hang about when the ball's there, and as you saw from his first break, he crunches them. Both players, we know enough about Chris, but both players got massive breaks. And both great cueists, brilliant potters. Should be fast and furious, this one.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of a, sorry Simon, probably a bit of a difference to the first semi-final. Both players, in Callum and Aaron, slightly more methodical, particularly Aaron.
Yeah, I said that actually. I was with Barbara Taylor on commentary, and we're talking about, she questions sort of the pace people play at and stuff, and it's actually an advantage to play quicker because you use less of the clock, and we said the clock won't affect this match, but felt it would affect the last match, which is as it played out. We'll see if this one gets affected, but both Luke and Chris will play a lot quicker, and therefore even when they make clearances it will be a minute quicker, and that all adds up.
And I think, to be fair with Chris and Luke, with their styles, they like to attack the balls, and Callum and Aaron tend to be, don't get me wrong, all four great players, all capable of clearing up at any point. But Aaron and Callum probably play the percentages a little bit more and more likely to play the odd safety shot here or there. But
yeah, it can affect it as well. But what a start for Luke Gilbert. Very good. Gets himself 1-0 up with a break clearance. Good start. I feel he does need a good start here with Chris being the way he is. One of the legends of the game, will be the favourite out of the four at the start of the night. He'd have been the favourite at the last 16 stage. One of the big favourites at the beginning of the tournament. He is the #2 seed coming in. Could be the #1 by the end of the day. Could take the ranking. Just have a look into the ladies series. Amy Beecham 2-1 up over Colby Poole. 17 minutes. I used quite a bit of the clock here for the first 3 frames. 40 minutes originally. Race to 5.
It's nice to see Colby doing well, because she's had a long way to travel coming from Australia, so it's good to see the dedication and hard work's being rewarded for a decent run in her first event.
Yeah, it's not easy to do that. It really isn't. Good commitment. Tough match up there for against Amy Beecham. And on the other side of the arena for the women's series, Danielle Randall has booked her place in the semi-finals. 5-0 she won over Sarah Waite. Very good performance from Danielle, and she will play the winner of this match. So another semi-final for Danielle, starting to get herself in and amongst it more and more regularly. Could be a big day for Danielle as well.
What a moment that could be for Colby as well. A little flick on the 8 ball there to give a sight of the red.
Yeah, big shot really. If you can land on the 8 ball, make it 2-2. Start to take it to the 4 times world champion.
She's played it pretty good, to be fair.
And in goes the 8 ball, 2-2 it is. Back to our match. Luke Gilbert started with a break clearance, so we get to see Chris Melling for the first time in the match. How is his break going to work for him? Oh, bit of a miss hit. And he's going to be dry, and it's a bit messy here. Red below the 8 ball makes it awkward.
Quite a bit of work to do here. Red's the favourable option. Luke wanted to just catch the yellow there so he'd have a better angle to develop the red on the right hand side as we look, which is close to the yellow. And he'll be looking at some point, he might even play for the double on the red by the yellow. At some point he'll be wanting to break into the 8 ball on the red. Oh, he's been a bit unlucky there.
That has not worked. Could well put an end to this chance.
And you always feel, when it's fair to say in this game there is a clear underdog. Luke is the underdog. Chris, we all know about him, and he does start the match as a favourite. You always feel these early little exchanges can prove quite pivotal.
Yeah, you just get the sense. I always think when there's a clear underdog in a match that you kind of important for that player to sort of establish themselves on the match, and especially with Chris being who he is, he's a good front runner, and if you let him off a couple of frames here or there, then all of a sudden he just relaxes and can fly away.
Yeah, and when you're in the other chair, you can't help but think, even if you get yourself 2 or 3 all and you feel like you should have probably been 4-2 up, sometimes you might even think you've missed the boat already. It's very easy to get in that mindset.
Good shot for Chris to take the red off the table. Luke now has 3 bad balls on the table. No real finish for Chris when he was there, so be patient. And Chris has been in a mood all week about trying to take on the most outrageous finishes he could.
Well, we say there was no shot.
I didn't think that went.
No, and
I mean, I'm assuming Chris didn't realise that went, because you wouldn't leave that on.
And this is a big pocket as well.
Yeah.
So it turns out we have to put that down as a bad error from
It's a very bad error from Chris. It really is. When he played that shot and left the ball in the middle of the table, there was no way that red could go, because you just wouldn't do it. He wouldn't normally make that sort of mistake.
Luke won't believe his luck here. He'll be thinking, well, I can speak from experience. I played Chris in the semi-final last year, and I snooked myself on the black and managed to pot it out of the snooker. And when things like that happen, and like for Luke here, Chris giving him a chance he never thought he'd have, you start to think it's your day, and take a lot of confidence from that.
Must be playing with confidence anyway, but just like, enforces it even more. You think, oh, maybe something's happening here. Really has been an impressive run through for Luke to this stage. Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing how he's going to go this year, but I've got to be honest, I didn't see a semi-final in event 1 or event 2 as it is here on the cards in such a strong, deep field. But brilliant performance.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not completely surprised, because I know how good Luke is. Obviously, I practice with him all the time. By his own admission, his sort of, don't know if downfall's the right word, but he'd every now and then he'd know he'd have a bad performance in him, but they're getting less and less frequent, which is.
Do you think that's down to his style of play? He's very aggressive and backs himself to clear up a lot more than well, no, I say more than most. He doesn't, because there's so many people that do play like that. But
Yeah, I think there's a couple of factors. Style of play is definitely one, because the balls aren't always going to go for you, and if they don't, you need to find other ways to win. But partially down to his age as well. He's only 21. He's still so young. So he's getting more and more experience every time he plays, and obviously he beat Liam Dunster in the qualifier for the previous
BT show, yeah.
Yeah, and he took a lot of confidence from that. So he's starting to feel good about his game again, and he has been flirting with break cues. He's been on and off trying a couple of break cues, because he had a little bit of damage to his cue just through wear and tear, because the cue's been in his family for years. But after the first match, he got rid of that. He said, "Not for me this weekend," and seems to have paid dividends.
Yeah, been breaking well. Matches I've seen from him so far, but not the best shot from Chris. I think he was hoping to be on the yellow to the top left. Chris was pushed in the previous round. Cormac Kerr got himself 5-2 in front of Chris, but Chris was able to respond in style. So.
And you mentioned Cormac Kerr. He did beat Luke in event 1, and what a start to his pro career.
Yeah, amazing.
He's had a great weekend, beating Declan and a couple of other notable wins. And
yeah, last 16 quarter final. A brilliant opening gambit really from Cormac.
I've not seen a huge deal of him. But when you watch certain players around the table and stuff, you can tell by their demeanour, and he looks like he belongs.
Yeah, he does.
So it's an interesting future for him.
Yeah, certainly is. That was a brilliant shot from Chris. Vision to knock the red onto the yellow and control things.
I have to say with Chris, in my own opinion, having not been around in the golden era, so to speak, in the early 2000s, since he's been back playing English 8-ball, this is the best I've seen him play.
Yeah, I've been saying the same thing. I think because he's been playing this version of the game predominantly, sort of exclusively, if you like, he has, you know, he's still playing the odd 9-ball tournament, but he's pretty much committed himself to this version of the game for the first time in 15, maybe even 20 years. I think he really is looking as good as he's ever looked to me.
Yeah, and I think Gareth mentioned it at the BT event. Although we know what we get with Chris Melling, sometimes the cue ball is a bit loose, and you know, he's a bit flamboyant and stuff, but it is that bit tighter at the moment, and he is a bit more controlled, and he just looks a lot more assured. Even though he was always knocking in the finishes anyway, he just seems to be even more so. You just fancy he's going to clear up every time he gets to the table, no matter where the balls are. And if you're sat in the other chair, well, it's just awful, really. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, you never know if he's going to get out from the most amazing positions. I asked him about it, as he sort of feels like he's putting himself into trouble here, but this is where we get excited. So, go back to my point in a second. What's he got here? This yellow does go, but come up too far on it.
Is he going to try and chop it back and crash in, or is he going in?
I think he's trying to screw around 3 rails. He's got to get into this one.
Wow, wow. He's used that red as well. He's played that.
You saw him point at the red. He knew he had to get the perfect contact on the red. That's fantastic. Oh, Chris Melling, another one. So many in this tournament from Chris, and he stops in his tracks because he thought he'd missed the 8-ball, but in it drops off the near jaw. This is not a fluke. This is absolutely as played from Chris Melling.
That's brilliant vision to see that. It's so fast, he says.
Yeah, amazing. He's just been pulling out highlight reel shots all weekend long. Incredible. Indicating it's cold out there as well. I'll finish my point on Chris. I asked him about, you know, do you feel you're as good as you were in the golden era and all that sort of stuff? And I think his sort of answer was he doesn't feel he's as good a potter now as he was, but he feels like he's got much more knowledge of the game, and I think he sort of sat on the fence, but kind of indicated that maybe, yeah.
No, there will be some golden era purists that will be arguing about the conditions and things like that, but I just think the level he's playing at the moment is scary, really.
Yeah, very consistent as well, which maybe we've not always associated with Chris, but it is very, very consistent. It's rare that you see him go out early. It was a surprise to see him go out early in event 1.
I do think as well a factor of that is because every match now is played in arenas and things like that. I think for Chris's character,
yeah,
that sort of plays into his hands.
Yeah, it felt like in year 1 when it wasn't always played in an arena, it felt like he lost more matches in this sort of out the back in the outer sort of area than he ever did in the arena. So there's definitely something in that.
That was an interesting period because there was certainly, as all players do, you have your certain opinions of players and this, that and the other, but there were certain players you'd want to play out the back because you think it'd favour you, and then there's certain players you'd want to play on the TV table.
Yeah.
Because it was an interesting dynamic, because it wasn't the same for everyone, because every match was different, but now we're all in arenas, that's changed everything, which is good for everyone involved.
Everything's gone to the right hand side of the table. They crunched this.
They have, but at first glance, I think yellows are not too bad. I think he's got one really awkward yellow, which he can deal with in his first shot. If that yellow is opting for reds, what do I know? That's why I'm sat in here and he's out there.
What's he got with the reds? He's got those 2.
So the red below the yellow to the right hand side as we look, he'll land low on that and push one of the reds out. Yeah. Just looking at the angle now, so
he can do it with control is the key. He's not just crashing into it and hoping.
I think you make a good point there when you say with control. Although Chris plays a lot of flamboyant shots, if you like, you don't see him go into balls at 100 miles an hour. Everything seems to be like calculated and worked out, whereas some players, they'll just get an angle and crash and sort of see what happens.
Yeah.
Obviously Chris is far too good a player to be relying on that sort of stuff. And then you see a delicate little cannon, and he'll play the plant here. He'll use the yellow to... The red will run into the yellow and push it out of the way, as you see. And what looked like a potentially tricky layout, he's just seeing the patterns very comfortably and making the game look easy.
Yeah, this was very good, this one. Looked messy. It was one sort of key little delicate shot, but still got the vision to see it, and never in doubt that one, really. Very, very good from Chris. Was 2-0 down, he's back all square. And just go back to Colby Paul, taking on Amy Beecham, 3-3 now. Edging towards the conclusion there. Race to 5 in the ladies' quarter-final. The winner has a match-up with Danielle Randall.
Got to be close to a shootout in that one, surely. Can't be much time on the clock. Colby and Amy.
Won't be too much time. No. So, don't think Amy was overly keen on getting involved in a 6-red shootout. She said that to me before. She's a little bit worried about it, but there you go, 6 minutes 58 left. There is time. More than enough time to see a couple of frames, or we could see a tactical exchange and it could all end here and now.
Interested, is the golden break in operation for the women's?
It's not, no.
Interesting that Amy cut breaks, because for me in the women's game she's
got the best break.
Got the best break, and she's probably the best cueist, best timer of the ball.
For me, I don't think there's any doubt that she's got the best power break in the game, so it is actually strange to see her going to the cut break. It's a very good point.
Talking of big breaks, don't let me down, Luke. Crunched it up and down the line.
Would have been very unlucky to go in the middle pocket there. Got this right down the middle of the table. Almost dropped down below the bed of the table, pop back out. Good split.
A little bit of work. The yellows all go, but you've just got to be neat and tidy.
Yellow balls in play.
I think he wanted to plant the outer yellow over two as we look. It's probably half a roll too far, it's just okay. Then we'll be happy with that. Just a bit careless there, Luke. I think the shot before he wanted to be straight on the plant and play for the yellow beside the red. Now he's got to be delicate, just low. He's going to have a bit of a trickier 8-ball than he needed to. Still should be fine, but he should have been right behind this. Don't expect him to miss it. The pockets are, to be fair, massive.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I've done him. Sorry, Luke.
Didn't expect that at all. I know it was slightly trickier than he wanted it to be, but...
I'd have to see it again. It just looked like he threw in a quick one there. I don't know if he just didn't quite cue how he normally would. And if Chris takes these out, it'll just be just like Arsenal Man United. It's gone 3-2 to Arsenal, which we like to see.
Not that my co-commentator here is an Arsenal fan with the Arsenal match on in front of him at all.
I did want to be at home, but Luke had other ideas.
One's going to really hurt Luke as well. Nothing you can do about the previous two, that happens, but this one will hurt. Opportunity to get back in front.
Particularly with, I know it gets used a lot now, the tennis reference of staying on serve.
Yeah.
When you make a mistake, you always feel like the balls are destined to punish you.
And it is punished. 3 frames to 2. Let's have a look at the miss again. Just overcut it. Just got it wrong.
And with that 8-ball that he misses, always one of them scenarios where if he would come to the table and was left that part, he'd never miss it.
Yeah.
Because he knows it should have been so much easier.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But to be fair, what I will say, as big a moment as it is earlier, Luke has got a fantastic temperament and he doesn't let much phase him at all, to be honest. So I don't think it'll affect him. It's just from here out, will he get the chances?
Yeah, an opportunity to stay in front of Chris, and Chris's break next. Before you know it, it could be 4-2, and then the pressure builds on his next break.
Yeah, and obviously we all know about Chris. The top players, when they smell blood,
yeah,
it can be 3 or 4 frames later before you get another go.
He's been like that this weekend as well, stringing them together. Mind you, so was Luke, stringing batches of frames together. Chris was behind in his last match, 5 frames to 3 against Cormac Kerr, and ended up winning 8-5. Shows you he managed to... Sorry, it was 5 frames to 2, so he won 6 frames on the trot there. Turn it around, 8-4 victory over Neil Raybone. Previous match, that's his work today. Beat Phil Harrison yesterday in an 8-0 win to start his Pro Series 2 competition off yesterday morning over Tio Edgar. Started in around a 64 because he's a seed.
Another great break from Chris there. I'd love to, I mean we never will have, but I'd love to have the stats. I'd bet money that Chris makes a ball more than any other pro. I'm not saying he's the best breaker out of everyone, but I'd say he makes a ball more than pretty much anyone in my opinion.
He's breaking in a strange way. He has been for a little while, a few tournaments now, where no one else in the game seems to be doing it and getting topspin on it.
He was flirting with a cut break for a while as well, wasn't he?
He has, yeah.
Very un-Chris.
Yeah, he's very anti the cut break, but has been playing with it.
I think most players have had a little go. There's a few that refuse to use it.
Yeah, there's a few I think I'd never see use it.
Mick and Gareth in particular.
I have seen Mick cut break though.
Yeah, I did question him on that, and he did say to me it was because of the whatever match it was the golden break, and it was just to ensure he didn't have a golden duck. But I've not seen him. Maybe he has, but I've not seen him use it.
No.
In the middle of the match, if you like.
Only time I saw him do it was in a. We were just doing a bit of filming. He was just messing around. He did it, but yeah, it's yeah, like I say, I think maybe once in a match, but I wasn't commentating on that one. Well, this looks. It's interesting. He's stepping back and kind of working out his route here. This kind of one for each corner pocket and the 8-ball, and he's just trying to work out the best way to connect them all up. The Reds are just in the sort of middle of them.
Yeah, you'd think it's easy because they've all sort of got a pocket, but they don't. It's not a clear path to all lead to each other. And he has got to find a couple of gaps.
I thought he might try and get on this one. This one at the bottom right to me seems the most awkward.
I think he's playing for it now, which he has done. And again, he'll play a similar shot where he comes around off a couple of cushions. And for all those watching, that is full time, and Arsenal are still top of the league. So he'll be looking to just come past that red. The red plays big. The red plays big. Has he got there? He might just have to dink it.
I think the answer's no, going by his reaction.
You have to say, for someone of Chris's level, that is quite careless. I think he's just okay. Even though he's dinking it, he's playing. Everything plays into his favour with this shot. Ooh, didn't expect that. What a let-off for Luke.
Yep.
Opening part. Thought he might have played the other red in the middle and just, if he had knocked that in, there's no work. Yes, now he has got to play a bit of a shot here, which I fully expect him to knock it in, but if you're being super critical, he probably shouldn't have had to play it. And there you see...
Wow. Wow, 2 missed pots and 2 frames from Luke Gilbert. Both of them very surprising.
Chris won't believe his luck. He'll be over the moon with how things are going here.
Yeah, and he'll feel like he's let him off, and he'll feel very good about it as well. It's sometimes when you're not getting punished, it really helps you. Just there checking out the cushion. He wasn't happy with the bounce he got off the cushion. A little bit shocked. I can confirm, while the balls are being racked up, that we have got our semi-finals confirmed for the women's series. You heard that applause in the background. Amy Beecham completed victory. It was 3-all. She won the final 2 frames, 5 frames to 3 for Amy over Kobe Ball. She'll take on Danielle Randall in the semi-finals. That'll be going on fairly shortly. This semi-final, though, Harriet Haynes and Emma Cunningham, it is already underway. And Harriet Haynes has got off to a quicker start, won the opening frame, but looks like Emma's in perfect position here to tie the scores up.
It's worth mentioning, I've just had a message off a friend of mine and Luke's. In that frame, it's the second time I said I fancy him to knock a ball in and he's missed.
You're very good at the commentator's curse.
I've done it a few times to him just lately, where he's been in good positions in matches, and whoever I've been sat there with, I've been saying it's as good as job done, and then he's found himself coming back, the other opponent's coming back at him. So I'm a bit of a curse for him at the moment. But he did give me some stick in the comms box the other day, so...
Did he? What did he say?
It was just probably criticising every single shot I played, and no, it was all harmless, but it's nice to give him a bit back, but I would like to see him win. And that's it. Oh, cue ball. Oh. The balls do not forgive you, because look at these yellows. This is 5-2, and I'm not trying to curse Chris, but he just don't miss these. Oh. That's harsh.
And he knew it. And it gives him plenty more time to think about the 2 missed pots he's had in the previous 2 frames. He could be sat here 4-2 up on a different day. In a matter of moments, he's going to be 5-2 down.
If you're Chris Melling and you're getting the chances like that, it's an easy game.
Frame.
Yeah, Chris's level, you don't miss those. Nothing he could do to kind of go wrong there. They were all just there for him. And when he missed that, snooking himself on that last ball, he was probably thinking, okay, kept Luke in the match here, and all of a sudden he's 5-2, 3 frames away from the semi-final, and all's good in Chris Melling's world once again. Another look at Harriet Haynes and Emma Cunningham. Emma did complete the frame, and Harriet now in frame 3.
I'd be interested to know both Emma and Harriet's opinions of, I guess we've got to call it a bit of a rivalry. I'm sure there's a lot of respect there and they get on and things, but I'd like to know how they feel about when they come up against each other.
Yeah, an honest answer to that question. I'm not sure we'd get it though. That's the.
And as mentioned earlier, I'd chuck Amy in the mix as well. I think she's every bit as the 3 of them are all, you know.
Well, I think coming into this,
blanket over each other.
Yeah, coming into this week, I think we had Harriet with 2 titles last year, Amy with 2 titles last year, Emma with the 2 titles in the mini-series, and Barbara Taylor with the World Masters and the World Championships. So you kind of had 4 of them sort of standing out in the women's game. I throw Kirsty Lee Davis in the mix as well. She's starting to come back to form. There's some.
Yeah, she took a few years out, Kirsty, didn't she?
Yeah.
Before she stopped, she was right up there.
Leading 5 frames to 2.
Quick finish for Harriet there, get back in front. But yeah, I think the ladies' game's starting to get in great shape. It's going to be very tight amongst 4 or 5 of them. A few other players trying to get in that mix as well.
Yeah, there's a little bracket just below the top 3 or 4 where there's 3 or 4 very, very good players knocking on the door. You mentioned Danielle Randall, she's into it's the semi, I think.
Yeah, semi against Amy.
There's Becky Watkins, plays out of the court club with the likes of me, Luke and John, and she's knocking on the door all the time and she puts a lot of work in, so it's only a matter of time before she's in the business end.
She'll be disappointed today. She got off to a good start in the knockout stages and then lost very, very quickly to Kirsty Lee Davis, 5-0.
Yeah, from what I've been told, I didn't see the match, but she didn't get much of a look in. Kirsty just played pretty faultless. That's a good shot from Chris.
Yeah, Kirsty then went on and lost to Harriet. Kirsty had a good chance to go 4-3 up, missed an 8-ball, and it's pretty much over from there. Disappointing for Chris with this break, not to be left anything on.
He might have left this yellow. Yeah, oh, thought that was in. That was the ideal for Chris, from his point of view. That was the ideal scenario. You're 5-2 up, and you've forced your opponent into playing a shot that really he don't want to be playing, but he didn't have too much choice.
Yellow ball's in play.
And from that, he's given himself a fantastic chance to go 6-2, which you fully expect him to take. Quite a clever shot from Chris. He's going to play the outer yellow and push the red to the cushion, which just means there's no traffic for getting on the 8-ball.
Just means he's slightly off angle off both these balls by doing that. But
yeah, I think he can just drop them both in. I think he's opted to go a bit further, so he used the cushion. A bit surprised by that, to be honest.
He's come back further than he thought he would. Shake of the head there. He was trying to come back so he could use the cushion. Just a little bit thinner than was planned.
He has got a big pocket down this bottom right corner if he really wanted to, because the way these cushions react, he's just unsure. He's going deep on the cue ball, so he thinks he can bite enough into the cue ball to... No, he didn't think he could. That's why he's played around the houses. And you see
Barbara Taylor, Women's World Champion.
And he's played for the big pocket. And he's got it.
Very good from Chris, accepted what he had there and got behind that perfectly. And 6 straight frames for Chris Melling. It hasn't felt like 6 straight frames either. It just felt like Luke's should have nabbed a couple of them at least. Big difference.
Yeah, so Luke would be disappointed at the couple of mistakes he's made. Of course, with Chris making the error, I think it was at 3-2 to go 3-all. Luke had made the error to let Chris go 3-2, and then when Chris had made the error back for 3-3, that was quite a pivotal moment, and Luke would be disappointed with that one in particular. And as we said about Chris, he hasn't looked back. He's done what he's been doing since Ultimate Pool's been a thing, really.
Just check in on the start of the Amy Beecham Danielle Randall match. Amy watching on as it's Danielle with the first opportunity. That red below the yellow causing her some problems.
And it doesn't quite double either. She would have liked to have been able to play that now. She might have to pot the red into the top right as we look and leave a one cushion angle off the red into the top left to break the yellow and red out. Yeah, that's a good shot. She'd like to actually sort of go two cushions and just pop the yellow out.
I think it's important for Danielle to get off to a good start here. Amy will be the favourite.
She feathers quite far away from the cue ball, I noticed. There's a bit of gap between where her feather ends and when she actually hits the cue ball. Just taking a deep breath, trying to keep herself calm.
Yeah, early in the match. It's one chance that's gone, but plenty more to come for Danielle. Not an easy chance here for Amy, so there's plenty of mileage in this frame.
It's not a bad shot from Amy.
Frame 9.
Good contain
Luke Gilbert
safety.
break. Drilling 6 frames.
I'd imagine Luke will give these a bit extra.
Very important he makes a ball here. And he has. In fact, he's made a bunch. Oh, no. Oh, that is heartbreaking.
And look at the reds.
It's almost an exact replica. Okay, the cue ball's going to the side cushion, but does not deserve to go in that middle pocket.
It's ironic as well. I was speaking to Luke earlier on, and I said to him, he's crunching the break and he's making balls, but he's sort of spinning the white a little more than he normally would do. And you've seen here, he's extremely unlucky.
Yeah.
He's spun off to the side cushion, off another cushion, hits a ball, goes in the middle, and you think,
red ball's in play.
It's not meant to be today. If he's to get back in the match, he's going to need some help off Chris, because I was watching Chris against Phil Harrison yesterday, and Phil was quite far behind. But you always felt, because with Chris's break, there was going to be a chance he gets where you virtually can't miss because he hits the break so good.
Yeah.
And he let Phil back into the match and he got to 7-5, I think it was, and Chris hit a break, and I mean, he actually said before he played his next shot, wow, how can you mess these up? Because that you literally could turn the cue around the other end and plop them in.
Now it's flowing through that one.
Frame.
7-2 now. 7 straight frames for Chris Melling. And he's one frame away as we've just only just tipped over the halfway point in this match. It's raced along. Reminder, we've got the Challenger final coming up after this match. I will check in with the ladies. Amy at the table now, cue ball in hand. But our Challenger final, John Egan taking on David Hogan. Two new names and faces into the Challenger final. How are they going to handle the arena and the occasion? Big, big moments for both those guys.
I have to say, I've never heard of David Hogan, and don't know too much about him, but I know John very well. He played in the England youth setup. It was him, myself, Callum Singleton and Josh Kane, so we had a pretty
That's a solid
team.
side, yeah. Amy in good position here to get the opening frame on the board.
Frame 10. Chris Melling to break. Leading 7 frames to 2.
Amy's got to play a bit of a
Foul.
Well, you heard it. You heard the massive break and a foul, so
Ball in hand.
maybe one last chance
Time running.
For Luke to get into this match, he needs to win 6 straight frames from here, which sounds a very tall order against Chris Melling, but if you're going to do that, he has to start somewhere, so why not now?
I think regardless from here on out, obviously at 7-2 we sort of expect Chris to win now, because as I mentioned before, his break, he'll get too many chances off his break. But if Luke can just hang in, this game is, things do happen, strange things happen. He'll knock this comfortably down the rail, and I've cursed him twice already, but you sort of feel like, look at that, it's bucket ball.
That shouldn't go in, should it? You're trying your best to curse him, Dom.
Sorry, Luke, this is a nightmare. He's going to hate me after this. That's a good shot there. But yeah, regardless of what happens from here, Luke will take a lot of positives. For him, it'll be all about the bigger picture for the future with Ultimate Pool and the things they're doing. And he's certainly got a big future ahead of him. Unfortunately for me, I've got him to carry me in the Pairs Cup as well, which is ideal. So, happy days for me. He's going to have to knock this double in. And have to play a bit of a shot to get on the last, to get on the 8 ball. Oh, he's double kissed it.
So Chris with an opportunity then to win the match.
Extension, please.
Chris is just sand and cement treatment here for Luke. That's a great effort from Luke, it's a good hit. How many titles has Chris got under Ultimate Pool?
He's got 3.
3.
This would put him on 4. Ty Shane Thompson on 4. Mick's got 3. Tom Cousins has got 3. Jack Whelan on 2.
Cousins has got 3 in about 3 events, and he's
3
flying.
3 in 6 weeks. Must be 3 in
3 and 4 maybe.
3 in yeah, 3 in. He didn't win the Pro Cup, so yeah, 3. Well, and he didn't win the second event, so 3 and 5 essentially.
Right, slacking.
3 and 5, yeah.
I think it's fair to say Chris is. Oh, that's a bit brutal.
Foul.
I wonder, does that yellow squeezing off the red? I think it does, which will open the clear the path for the 8 ball. I was just saying there before that off, I think it's fair to say Chris has been the most consistent player under the Ultimate Pool banner.
Yeah, I agree with that. Right there in the rankings both years, and he actually, if he wins this match, he'll go #1 on the ranking list. He will pip Mick Gill. Still got to win the match though. 7-3 now.
7-3. If Luke goes 7-4, you just put that little bit of doubt in Chris's head. Then you never know.
Jump back to the big semi-final. Harriet Haynes and Emma Cunningham. 3-2 now to Harriet, and in control of this frame. Got to be patient, but Harriet's frame to lose from here. So put a 4-2 in front, 1 frame away if she can win this one.
Interesting from Harriet. Expect her to get these. It's big bag.
Especially using it like that, and that's okay. Should go 4-2 now. Interesting battle between these two. I think Emma's had the best of the last game or two. Looks like Harriet might get the best of this one. Could be some big battles ahead between those two. Oh, nearly gets the cue ball in the other side, and it's still spinning. Came right, it's still spinning. It's still going. Came right across that one.
Yeah, I think you see, you just sort of try to throw a bit extra in there, so when that happens, you sort of lose your timing. That's something with my break I'm very guilty of doing. Trying to throw too much power rather than just letting the cue speed be greater. It's a bit of work for Chris to do here. Although, at first glance you think that, but actually these yellows are really quite presentable.
Balls in play.
His worst yellow is the top one of the bottom 3, if that makes any sense. Got a lot more angle than he wanted there, Chris. He wanted to be able to screw straight down over the triangle area to the bottom rail. Oh my word.
Wow. Very fortunate for Chris.
Though he has landed in a strange spot. Is he going to look to play the yellow? I'm not sure how clean that middle yellow goes past the red. He might have to play it off the bottom yellow. And of course he can only play the top yellow onto that ball. There's a lot of yellows here to talk about. It could be quite confusing.
That's really well worked out. If that yellow goes past the 8 ball, it's perfect. If not, he's got work. Trying to get a clue from his body language. This must be tight. I don't think it does.
You'd have to say he'd have been downplaying it right now.
He would have been.
He's looking at a double. It just gets a bit interesting. If this goes 7-4,
well, he's hit the yellow. He's not giving it away, so Luke still has to find a way, but if he can, yeah, 7-4, it would be Chris's break, though. But you just got to keep believing if you're in Luke's camp.
it's a pretty decent shot from Luke there. Wasn't a great deal on. And he has... Well, I was nearly going to tempt fate and curse him again there. I was going to say he's brought himself another shot, but with Chris, you're never quite sure.
I think he's eyeing up something quite expansive here.
I think
some sort of double.
Might just be the back double, and potentially use the cue ball to knock the other one in. But oh, he's played a billiard shot of sorts.
That last little nudge helped him? I don't think so.
To be fair, I think it's pretty much what he played. I think he's played to pop that yellow over the pocket and put his other yellow in the middle of the table. I'm guessing.
Was it? Do you not think he was trying to make both?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think he would have been, but... So all of a sudden...
Got that one wrong. So it is a great chance now for Luke to go 7-4. Applause you can hear in the background is for Harriet Haynes. She has completed victory over Emma Cunningham. She books her place in the first Women's Series final of 2023.
Just done that a touch more than he wanted, Luke. He'd like to have just been the other side of the bulk line, which is why you see he slightly ran a bit far. But it's fine. I'm on edge everything I say now with Luke's shots because I feel like I'm going to curse him. But I'm going to take a punt and say he's going to get out here and we're going to be 7-4. Please don't play the red on the rail now, Luke, please. Which he's not, so that is 7-4. And we've got quite a big break coming up from Chris next.
He's hanging in there. Hanging in. 13 minutes, 49 seconds left on the clock. 3 frames behind now for Luke Gilbert. He has hope. It is a Chris Melling break next. Both players are just popped out of the arena. So let's go and check out what's going on between Danielle and Amy. And 1-1. Coming up to the halfway point in the match clock. Try break from Amy. Danielle with the first opportunity here. What can she do? This is all to find out who will play Harriet Haynes in the final, which will be coming up after the Challenger final, which we have next. Still plenty more action to come. 3 more matches after the semi-final we are watching, and all 3 of them finals. There's also the plate final for the women to be played as well. That won't be on this stream, on the one of the side streams.
It's a pretty good chance here for Danielle, but it is one of them you need to be pretty neat and tidy with the cue ball.
May have just made it a little bit more awkward. Yeah, slight grimace there.
Yeah, if she could have, she sort of stunned that back into black. If she would have soft screwed it a bit better and just pushed the black more towards the snooker blue spot, then she could have played the yellow into the top left. And the yellow we see below the 8 ball, she could have played that to just brush off the back of the red to open up the awkward yellow and red as we look. I'm pretty sure it doesn't go in the middle pocket, but she's played a good shot there. A little bit unlucky to screw as much off the red as she did. I think the yellow directly below the 8 ball goes into the top right corner as we look. She might have to play a cross double here on the yellow she's closest to. Because she can't go nowhere from where she is, really. Just dropping it in does her no favours. She plays the cross double and runs into the bottom yellow. She He should have a shot of sorts, which he's...
Ooh, nearly makes the yellow, nearly makes the 8-ball. Another one gets away from Daniel. That was a tricky little finish, quite congested.
It's interesting with the women's game how much the shot clock impacts how the players play, because they don't get too much opportunity to play on the shot clock conditions, although with the mini series around now they do get that bit more. Yeah,
it's kind of happening more and more now. Quarterfinals onwards, all the tour stops, 3 mini series this year, where there's a huge exposure for the women, where the mini series has a very similar feel to the women's series here. And yeah, I think it's really helping the game. I think we're seeing players just feel more and more comfortable out there, especially the ones that are doing it more often, the likes of your Harriets and Emma, Amy.
Frame 12. Chris Melling to break, leading 7 frames to 4.
Big break this in the context of the match.
Yeah, it's fair to say Chris has already had his chance to win the match.
Oh, best break of the match. And parks the cue ball. And it's decent.
Yeah.
A little bit of working out at the top end.
I feel like he's one shot away from... See, Luke tapped his leg there. Chris parked the cue ball perfectly. That's all you can ask for if you hit the balls good and kill the cue ball. It's down to the pool gods, as they say. I think Chris will go yellows. They do all have a pocket. He just wants to... The yellow below the red
in play.
On the bulk line. I'm not sure that passes, which means he'd have to play it to the top right as we look.
Do you think there's enough room if he gets on the one nearest the top left to then get onto it to the top right without hitting the red?
I think so, but looking as he looked like he was about to get down there, I think it must go.
I think he had the angle to play on it straight away, so, so it does go.
This is in fact an unbelievable opportunity for Chris to take the frame and the match.
Still just needs to get this one out, but yeah, absolutely unbelievable chance, really.
He'll go top left, top right, middle, right, bottom left, 8-ball into either middle pocket. He might even take the last yellow into the middle if he lands low on it, but I doubt he will. He might have to now because he looks quite low on this yellow. I'm not sure if he can hold. I think he will just be able to. He's looking to see if the 8-ball goes in the same pocket in the bottom left. Perfect by the looks of things. Looks perfectly straight.
2 balls away. He's not happy. He's not overly comfortable here. Looks like he's got the angle. He can just drop on into the centre. Yeah,
looks pretty perfect to me. I think it's...
Oh, wow.
Can you believe what's happening here?
Wow, he must have been pinching the pocket to get to there. That's incredible. It's really incredible.
I don't want to question Chris. Was he just going to... By the looks of things, he couldn't really hold for the yellow 8-ball into the left centre.
Yeah, it's a strange one because if he hits centre pocket there, he can easily get past the 8-ball for right centre. It's just...
Even if he couldn't hold, I thought he might have been able to play the yellow off the red just slightly to hold the line for the cue ball.
Yeah, he didn't need to pinch the pocket as much as he did. It's just a slight misjudgment.
He has been vocal about the size of these pockets. So maybe he was taking liberties. This is guaranteed to roll off, I think. And he's jumped up.
There was next to no yellow showing there. That was going to be tough.
So I think, for me, the shot for Luke here is put the cue ball behind the red in bulk, the loose one, play it onto the yellow and red, pot the yellow and run the cue ball in behind the 2 reds on the side. He's played a similar shot.
Yeah. He would have liked those 2 reds to be set as a perfect plant.
Yeah, with playing my shot, you could have played the red more pacey, which would have pushed the red through. He could have still played that shot more pacey, but he didn't, to control the cue ball, which was first and foremost. But Chris has done the work for him.
Yeah, this is big moments in this match. I know it's 7-4. It feels like Chris will get more chances, and he probably will, but he should have been done and dusted, and we're already thinking about the final here. And Luke's got a chance to take it deeper. This will put him 7-5, and he's breaking as well.
Wow.
If he goes, I mean, there's a lot of ifs here, but if he can get this one, pool players think in terms of clearing their own break and then clears his own. 7-6, the pressure on Chris's break will be huge.
Yeah, and obviously Chris has been there and done it all, but you can't help but think when you feel you should have been home and hosed 10 or 15 minutes ago, and all of a sudden your opponent's coming back at you, and you sort of start to, so many battle scars down the years, you sort of start to think negative. You can't help it. And Luke will be feeling a lot better about himself. He sort of feels he's on a bit of a free roll, because he knows, both players know, that Chris should have won this match.
Yeah, and it almost feels like he could really ramp up the pressure and get Chris really feeling it. He won't believe he's in this position. Amazing turnaround, really. Big break now coming up for Luke. A reminder, we do have the Challenger final following us here. 3 more matches to come on our main feature table. We've got the Challenger final, we've got the Women's Series final, and then the Pro final. Which one of these 2 guys will join Callum Singleton in that final? It should have been Chris Melling. Will it be? Or will Luke Gilbert spring a surprise? He still has plenty of work to turn this around, but he's still fighting.
Yeah, I'd quite like, obviously I'm biased, but I'd quite like Luke to flush one here and get a good chance and make it 7-6, just to... I always like to see the top players under pressure to see how they respond. I like to see them ask questions and put in difficult spots. So we'll be hoping Luke can do just that. See the referees taking extra care and making sure the balls are racked correctly.
Sounds so strange, but it's really hard to do. It
yeah,
really is.
and obviously as the weekend goes on, it gets harder because the tables get worn. And
yeah, the amazing thing is when you guys all practice, you don't really care. You just throw the balls. You throw the balls in, and if they're touching, great. If they're not touching, so what? But when you're playing in a tournament, of course, you're playing in a pro tournament. It needs you want perfect conditions. But you guys let the referees know when it's not right.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, I think it's obviously when you're down the club practicing, you know the tables are never going to be as they are in these tournaments, and you sort of know you're never going to get the perfect rack.
Luke Gilbert to break.
But when you're here, you expect it, and as pool players, we like to blame something else but ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a good break. Has he got one? He's got one.
Hit them well.
The reds look good at first glance. Is the yellow going to be a pain? It is.
I was about to say, could he go yellows? But he has got a starter on. He's got 2 starters on yellows. But the 2 reds at the bottom of the table, they're the ones. And he's having a look how easy to get on them.
too bad because he can leave an angle on his next shot. You see where he's pointing his cue, so that he can stun across to the rail. That looks pretty perfect. You can pop that and push the other red past the yellow, and he'll be on the red to the right centre. He'll just screw off it a touch and flick it out, which he has done.
It's all come out very nice.
Yeah, we'll just delicately drop this in, hold on the 8-ball, take the red long.
Comes round the check. Has he pushed the 8-ball safe? Couldn't risk it. I think he's happy enough with it. I think he's got a bit of the pocket.
And of course, we've not even took note, but we are on the 15-second shot clock.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, that is tight. I think he's happy enough with it. I don't think he's tried to do anything. If he wasn't, he would have got a different angle on this one, or tried to.
I do remember being told when I was younger, and it's something that sort of stuck with me. If there's doubt, if you're unsure, it probably does go. But I'd never know because my eyes are so bad. Brilliant. 7-6.
7-6. All of a sudden, things have really swung around. Well, this next break from Chris Melling is absolutely massive, because if it goes to a deciding frame, it will be Luke Gilbert to break.
Whilst Luke was rolling them in, he would have been going through the mental turmoil that we go through as pool players, and by the end of it, he'd have been saying to himself, he just needs to hit a good break. That's what he'll be after. Break well, give yourself a chance. That's all he can ask at this stage. Luke, on the other hand, will be thinking, straighten off in the middle, please.
Yeah, just wants a chance on this frame. Can't affect anything unless he's allowed to the table. Absolutely vital break of the balls coming up right now. So much more pressure on Chris because he's had opportunities to win this match.
And he should never have... the frustration for Chris will be it's self-applied pressure. He's put himself in this position. It should never have come to it. It's very, very rare you see the top players struggle to see a match out. They normally sort of run through the finish line.
Yeah. Chris sort of leading the way with that one. He's let Luke back in, but take nothing away from Luke. He's grabbed it. Here we go then. Big break coming up.
Chris Melling to break, leading 7 frames to 6.
Needs a ball. He's not going to get one.
Now then, Luke. Oh, they're not fantastic at first glance. A little bit of work.
Extension, please.
Don't think the red passes the 8-ball. I think yellows might be the choice as one. He's looking now if that red passes the 8-ball. If it does, the reds aren't too bad. There's a bit of work to do. And first shot, he's gone after that bad red.
Red ball's in play.
Grimace as he misses the cannon. That red does go to the top right, so he can work it back out.
That does help him. So now he has one bad red in the top half of the table, which with both his awkward reds do go into the same pocket. Just sat on the jaw, which he didn't want. He's going to have to play a big shot somewhere in this finish. He's going up for the bad red now. He's played that well. Oh, just thought he was going to run on a bit more.
Yeah, could have done with being on and off the cushion. Still wanted angled.
If he'd have landed on the cushion, he would have been good.
Oh, this is getting harder now. He's having to take this one.
Yeah, he's going to... This is tough. I know these pockets are very big, but it's got to float it and spin across to land kind of on the bulk line.
He's overcut it.
Yeah, it was very, very tough, but it's not the end of the world just yet.
So I wondered if Chris just drops the yellow in the middle pocket, he could play the loss of turn, and then he's in complete control of the frame.
That'll be his plan here. Well, he'd say that he might. The yellow closest to the right-hand side rail does go in off the red, which is an option, but I think given how the match has gone, Chris won't be chasing anything too silly, as much as he loves to have a go. If he tries to... Sorry, he's going to try to screw the cue away. He's just got to be careful that the yellow doesn't run out towards the yellow and red.
Oh, wow. He's missed the loss of turn. He's got a little bit fortunate that the yellow stayed in the way of the red here. Yeah,
the reason he did miss that was because he was worried that the yellow he planted onto the red might have squeezed out towards the yellow and red and dislodged it. It's a little bit unlucky for Luke there, although he's played a decent shot. The red's gone in a spot where it's going to be locked up.
And all this time, the clock is running down. This is eating in.
Chris is going to push the yellow onto the 8-ball rail, which I think he tried, but...
He might have left it a shot here. I think Luke's he has left a shot.
Red off the cushion, off the back of the yellow. That was a little bit careless from Chris there. Yeah, great shot, Luke. The yellow's just awkward. He's going to have a tougher black than he wants. That's why he's going for it. Oh, he needs to rest. It's all happening here. Just get across and give yourself a shot, Luke.
From distance, under huge pressure, this takes some cueing.
And I'm not saying a word. Brilliant.
Phenomenal 8-ball. Luke Gilbert takes us all the way from the brink of defeat. He is back in it with 2 minutes and 1 second left on the clock, and he's breaking. Wow, what a turnaround. Unbelievable.
He had no right to be in this match.
No.
Chris has had 3 or 4 goes and
he's really let him in.
Chris didn't need to be... I know he wanted the cue ball with the loss of turn, he wanted the cue ball down the table, but he didn't need to be as cute.
Anywhere.
He just had to pot the red was key.
Anywhere sort of middle of the table, and if he was worried about it coming, the yellow coming too far, he just hit it a little bit less pace.
His last shot, I don't know if he played the yellow off the yellows, but he could have just got it on the side rail and got a good cue ball, and he would have had quite a lot of control. But as I say, he's put himself under pressure, so...
Well, we could be in for all sorts here in the ladies' semi-final. Danielle Randall now with an opportunity. That double was so close for Amy, but 6 minutes left on the clock for them.
That's a great shot from Danielle.
Danielle with a chance here to tie the scores up with 5 minutes or so left on the clock. It will be Amy's break, but every chance of another frame being played, or even a potentially a 6-red shootout there. Keep an eye on that one.
We get a lot of stick, me and Luke, for the nickname Team Blessed. Luke being in this match is certainly a massive Team Blessed moment, and he'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
He has absolutely no right to be in this match from 7-2, the way the chances that Chris has had.
It's quite amazing.
But you have to say, Luke don't deserve to lose the match now, because Chris don't deserve to win it given the chances he's thrown away. What drama.
There really is drama on both
and there is
arenas.
Enough time for a clearance. I think about 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, 2:01. Yeah, big break coming up for Luke Gilbert. Who would have believed he'd be breaking off in a deciding frame the way this match has gone?
So he just wants the ball. If he gets the ball, he's got enough time to have a bit of a free go, because he can run it down where Chris won't have a time to come back.
Oh, it's massive. It is massive. He deserves the ball.
It's dry.
It's dry.
Oh,
what has Chris Melling got for us now?
Look at the reds. Oh my God.
He has spurned so many opportunities to win this match. Now he has 1 minute 48.
He's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
And these reds are nice. If this red... Okay, so the red
ball's in play.
at the bottom half of the table doesn't go into the bottom right as we look, because I think he would have played for it then. But he's going to have a shot.
He could have done with another roll there. He wanted to be on the one to the top left, and he's not.
Extension, please.
He is on it.
He's got just...
Oh, he's just bending it.
Yeah.
Good shot.
It is, but where's his next red? He's got a thin snick.
Quite right, it's gone too far. He's got himself in a mess here. We could well be heading for a... Well, let's see where he goes here.
I'll tell you what a shot this is.
Oh,
wow.
Chris Melling, phenomenal.
What a shot. What a time to pull that out. Great vision to see it in seconds as well.
50 seconds then.
So he's going to... I think he's out here.
Yeah, he just needs a good angle on his last one. Yeah.
And get anywhere bottom of the table, and he's won. Oh, this is brutal, this game.
Keep an eye on the clock. 37, 36. It's just has to be careful. They can't afford for this cue ball to be moving.
Oh, he's...
And he's going to...
Can he thin snick it and miss the back of the yellow?
Don't pop the 8 ball.
He's flirting with the 8 ball here. I think it'll be fine. How's your luck? He's in off. 6 red shootout it is.
6 red shootout. Luke Gilbert will not have enough time. Big sigh of relief from him. He knows he's going into a 6 red shootout here. Oh, unbelievable scenes. Unbelievable here. How many opportunities has Chris Melling had to win this match? Not been able to take any of them. And we are going to overtime.
Wow, what drama.
This is absolutely incredible. It really is. Luke has done so well. He's been given lifelines by Chris, but he's done so well. His game is naturally suited towards it. He thinks so quickly.
It's worth mentioning as well, I think these two played in the same group in the Monday nights and had a 6 red shootout to decide who goes through.
That's absolutely right.
Which Chris did actually come through.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. They drew their match. Chris was ahead in that one and got pegged back to 3-3. He was 3-1 and pegged back.
I'm going to predict about 20 points something for Luke.
Here we go.
Oh, it's a bit pacey. The balls are moving.
Well, we could have run round to the middle, but now he can go. Stop shots required.
Keel's running a little bit. He's going to run away from him again. This has to go in. Oh.
That might
drop
hurt
it
him.
in, play the skill shot. Oh, he's opted not to, the cue ball.
Got to make this one. Got to make this one. Had a quick look at the clock. It's going to be around 30 seconds, 30:64. He's going to be very disappointed with that. Hugely disappointed.
It's all about the break. Chris will be thinking if he just gets a nice split, he will fully expect to beat this time. What drama, what tension. And the break is good, and he's away. He's got one tricky on the rail.
He normally sees things so quickly, even in this 6 red.
He's left the angle even there just to bump it out. Little touch, lovely shot. He's got this one. And he knows it now.
He can now just slow down. Yeah, the speed's gone.
I have to say, Chris Melling, you're a very lucky boy.
Chris Melling wins the 6 red shootout. An incredible match.
What drama. And a great showing from Luke from this weekend.
Yeah, really is. Chris Melling should have won that match probably 3, 4, 5 times over, but credit Luke Gilbert. Every time he was given that lifeline, he grabbed it, played some great pool at the back end to push Chris Melling all the way.